Hi, my name is Molly McIntosh, and I'm a junior elementary education major with the focus and endorsement on ESL. I was born and raised in Columbus, Ohio. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, and my dad was a Christian school superintendent. I have two younger sisters. Katie was a freshman this year at Moody Bible Institute, and Sister Emma is a junior in high school. I come from a big, close family and grew up spending every Sunday afternoon running around my grandparents' farm in northern Ohio. I grew up playing volleyball all the way through high school and made many of my close friends in high school through that. I had a pretty typical Midwestern childhood and grew up running around the lakes and the farms around, going to high school basketball games, and spending time with my family. I really enjoy a good cup of coffee, reading, and I grew up in a Christian home. Both of my parents have been Christians the entire life. I attended Worthington Christian High School, which my dad is superintendent of, grades kindergarten through 12th grade. I think I was really challenged academically there in a lot of ways that I think even Wheaton doesn't offer. But I never had to actually challenge my faith in a real-world setting until I got a job my sophomore year of high school at Jason's Deli, which is kind of like a Panera restaurant. There I had lots of friends who didn't go to Christian schools and would ask questions that I didn't always know the answer to about real life scenarios and how Jesus was relevant to their lives and where they were. And that really challenged me. And I would go back and talk to some of my teachers or my other friends about what answers I could provide for them. I also took a trip to the Dominican Republic with my senior class in March before I graduated, and it was a missions trip, and I think that was the first time that I really experienced poverty or any sort of third world country, and that kind of opened my eyes to what people around the world struggle with every day. My sophomore year of college, I also struggled with depression and anxiety, and I think that was the first time that I had to work through some of these issues away from my parents and on my own, and I was able to sort of come out on the other side of that thanks to my friends and my family and the Wheaton community. I think my calling as a teacher really started at a young age. My mom likes to tell the story of me when I was 3 years old, playing school with my Beanie Babies and holding up a picture that I had drawn of Jesus and saying, "This is Jesus. Now, can you guys all say Jesus?" And I think that's sort of where I had unconsciously noticed, but everyone else around me started to notice that I was probably going to be a teacher when I grew up. I would go to school early with my dad in elementary school, and the other teachers at the school would have me give me little projects to help them out with around the classroom, and I really loved that and looked up to them and couldn't wait to be a teacher when I grew up. Later in high school, I decided I actually wanted to be a nurse. I took an anatomy class in high school and absolutely fell in love with it and was very set on that path, actually all the way up until May 1st of my senior year in high school, and I had to decide what college to go to. I was torn between the Ohio State University. I got into the honors program there and was really excited to study nursing. Wheaton obviously doesn't really have a nursing program, so I knew if I was going to come to Wheaton that I was going to have to pursue something else. So I, very last minute and very much under the direction of the Holy Spirit, decided to come to Wheaton and arrived here as an English major, took an English class and really enjoyed it. I love to read, but really felt being called to teaching. So I switched my major to elementary education and have never looked back. Throughout my practicums and other experiences, I've really gotten reassurance from other people and then also from God that this is where I'm supposed to be. I have spent the last 2 summers teaching summer preschool at a daycare back home, and have absolutely loved it. They've been the best 6 months of my life. I've really fallen in love with all those kids and have loved creating lesson plans and really fun craft and science and early literacy and early math opportunities for them to explore. I don't have a lot of experience with people with disabilities, but when I was in high school, my mom's cousin and her husband had a son born with Down syndrome, and just watching them as they handled it and as they really saw it as a gift from God and a blessing and an opportunity for them rather than a source of surprise or shock or disappointment. And then also watching little Charlie as he's grown up, really supported and loved by his whole entire family and what that's been like for them. Now, one of my really good friends here at Wheaton, older brother, has Fragile X syndrome, which is on the autism spectrum. And I spent a lot of time at my friend's house and time with Ryan and just experiencing what that's been like, and talking to Ryan's mom about what it's been like to raise a child with disabilities and the challenges, but then also the blessings that come along with that. And then also in my preschool class the last 2 summers, I've had 3 students. Obviously, they're only 3, so the diagnosis isn't always explicit, but there's been things that I've noticed. Shreyansh has selective mutism, so he would only talk rarely, and if he would, it would be in a very soft, quiet voice. So just working with him and finding hand gestures and giving him some confidence. But by the end of the year, he would talk a little bit in some words, which was really encouraging. And then Sana, who had some social and linguistic disabilities. She was a English language learner, and then also would not want to interact with any of the other kids due to feeling uncomfortable or really, really anxious. And so working with her on her English language skills to give her the confidence to go out and interact with the other preschoolers was a good experience for me as well. And then I also had this year in my class Raylan, who was a foster child, had just been adopted into this family and had some emotional trauma due to that, and then working with her in the foster care system and implementing her behavior plan, I think also gave me some good experience for what implementing pre-written plans looks like in the classroom.